Hey everybody, Sonia Badesi here from Success Fitness. Today I would like to show you 5 different exercises to help you recover from some lower back pain. You can do these daily if that feels okay. I would suggest working at about a 30-second increments for each exercise, working up to 60 seconds. And if you feel any pain, that is a red flag, and that means stop. All right. So, what I'd like you to start with is lying down with your heels as close as you can get them towards your buttocks. Your hands are just down beside you. You're going to pelvic tuck it in, and we're going to think about one vertebrae at a time as we're lifting it up into a bridge and then zippering it down one vertebrae at a time, coming back. And again, exhale, lifting it up. What I'd like to make sure of is that my hips, my knees, and my ankles stay aligned. So as I'm going up and down, I'm not going to pop my knees in and out. Lifting it up, 3, and release. So when we're doing repetitions, I would probably let's say, start with 5 and then work up to 10 and go from there. So here's 5, and we're going to hold this one up, pressing into the heels. Let the glutes take a little bit of this pressure, holding the muscles contracting. If you can, try to lift a little bit higher and let the lower back kick in a little bit more. But again, you're going to really have to gauge this for your own level and make sure that you feel okay with this. Slightly discomfort is okay, but pain, we don't want to go there. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Give me 4, 3, 2, and slowly releasing it back down. We're going to pull both knees in your chest. If you have sensitive knees, take your hands behind your knees, right? You can also pull them on top. That we get a little bit more of a knee bend in there. So that's, again, very individual. Pull it in and then give me just a gentle rock side to side, massaging through that lower back. Feels good, right? Nice deep breathing, relax those shoulders, and hold it right here. We're going to come into a seated position. So if you have currently lower back issues, be careful here. So what I usually suggest is turning to your side and then gently coming up into that seated position. From there, we're going to come on all fours. We're going to take your right heel to your left hip flexor. Your left leg is going to be fully extended. We're doing a pigeon pose, so leg goes back, heel to the left hip flexor, resting your back foot straight down, opening up the knee and hip slightly. Hold it right here and then gently come down towards the floor with your upper body. So if you're here and you're kind of going, whew, that's as far as I can go, what we're trying to do is open up that hip. Then this is where you would hold it. If you can go further, what I do is I kind of stagger my arms and I rest my forehead or my face onto my arms and hold. We want to feel that intense stretch into the hip. Again, maybe starting with 15 seconds, 30 seconds, working yourself up to 60 seconds per side. Once we've done about 30 seconds plus, depending on where you're at, we're going to come all the way back up and then getting back on all fours and switching sides. So now I'm going to take my left heel into my right hip flexor. My knee opens up a little bit to the left. My back leg is going to be extended, resting my foot, so relaxing it, coming again down to the elbows. Gauge it a little bit, see where you're at with that hip, and then resting it down. And while we're resting here, the whole point is that we're sort of meditating into these stretches. So take a deep breath in and out, let that hip relax into this position, and exhale. Again, holding it for 15 seconds, 30, maybe even up to 60, right? Depending on what level you're at. But if you have a fresher type injury in your lower back, take it easy, really listen to your body. And slowly coming up out of that position, again, moving slow, right? So don't rush these things. We're going to come right down, sitting into those heels. So if this bend bothers your knees, you can put a towel between your calf and your hamstring to give it a little bit more of a cushioned bending position. I can kind of push right back into it. I'm going to sit back on my heels, separating my knees a little bit. I'm going to take one hand down to the floor, and I'm going to reach the other hand up and laterally over again as far as we can go. and then holding it for, again, 15, 30, up to 60 seconds. And really don't rush these things, meaning the hold, because if you're only holding it for 5 seconds and letting go, you're kind of missing the opportunity for those muscles to release. Keep holding it and then coming out of it. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And you can do this more than once per side, depending on how much time you have, right? So I would say doing these exercises daily, but if you can spend a little bit more time and doing more repetitions each week, increasing it, then that would be definitely a bonus. And of course, being consistent and doing this daily will get you better. But doing it only once in a while and forgetting it a few days here and there is not going to get you there. And releasing it. We're going to go back sideways here, sitting back into your child's pose. So again, if you have a towel behind your knee, that can help. Sitting back as far as we can go. Again, I can go right back. Arms are fully extended, so I'm actually going to get a nice stretch in my lats. And then we're going to take our head right down. Of course, I'm wearing a hat today, so that's not working very well for me. And then hold it right here. Really try to walk those fingertips out as far as we can go to get that nice lat stretch. If you can't push right down towards the heels, don't worry about it, right? Do what you can. What we're trying to do is find release in the hips. Separate those knees a little bit, making room for your belly, right? Nice deep breathing. Hold it. Feels good. And releasing out of it. Perfect. We're going to do a reclining spinal twist. So what I like you to do is you're going to lay back on your back. And we're going to hold it right here. Again, pelvic slightly tucked in so our lower back is nice and safe. And then all I like you to do is take one leg straight down to the floor. The opposite leg is going to go into a 90-degree angle. With the opposite hand, we're going to grab that knee. We want to keep the knee somewhat aligned with your hip. And we're going to gently pull the knee across the hips without letting this shoulder lift from the ground, right? I want to feel the stretch right in that hip area, glute, and then pulling gently through the lower back, but releasing the muscles around the lower back is the key. So as we're pulling a little bit further, the shoulder wants to come along and you really got to resist that. So what I do is I actually look the opposite direction so that it reminds me to keep that shoulder down. And of course, the more give you have there, don't force this again. Start with 15, 30 seconds, up to 60 seconds. And release. We're going to switch sides. So opposite leg that we just worked is going to go straight. The leg that's ready to go, 90-degree angle. Opposite hand grabs the knee, gently pulling it across. Again, I'm going to look the opposite direction and holding it right here, getting that nice stretch into those hips, right? And then again, the hips get tight because the lower back is tight or possibly injured, right? So be gentle, do what you can, listen to your body. Always get an opinion of a professional when you're starting these things out so that you're not just going in as blind and you're not quite sure what you're supposed to be feeling. Because some discomfort might be okay, right? But you don't know what you don't know. So you want to make sure you get the right education on this. And releasing it. Perfect. Again, we're going to come up into the seated position. So careful of your lower back. Again, what I suggest is coming sideways and coming back up into that seated position. Crossing your legs if you can. If that's not comfortable, you can get your legs out to the sides, in front of you, doesn't really matter, right? I like crossing my legs. And we're going to take a deep breath in. Inhale, reaching it tall. And exhaling it out. And again, inhaling it up. Hold it right here. Clasp those hands together. And then let it just lean to one side. Over to the other side. Back to the center. Releasing those shoulders down. And rolling those shoulders back. Good job. Thank you for joining me. I'm Sonia Badesi from Success Fitness. If you have questions, you know you can always contact me and I'd be happy to help you out. Have a fantastic day.